Hello everyone, so in this video we are going to be looking at week 17 of the HoH Heroes event. Let's look at which monsters are available for each element in this selection. First on our list is the Fire Dryad. Her first skill attacks an enemy and absorbs the attack bar by 15% with a 50% chance. On her second skill, Honeybees will transfer all harmful effects granted on the allies to the enemy target, recovers HP of all allies by 50% afterwards. Her third skill attacks all enemies to shorten the time of beneficial effects granted on them by 2 turns each. If the enemy doesn't have any beneficial effects, prevents the enemy from gaining beneficial effects for 2 turns. Upon awakening, she also gains the name of Nisha and an additional leader skill that increases the resistance of ally monsters in guild content by 40%. Next on the list, we have Water Succubus, and her first attack attacks without waking up the enemy that's under sleep, puts the target to sleep for 1 turn with a 50% chance, recovers the attack bar by 50% if the enemy falls asleep after the attack. Her second skill attacks without waking up the enemy that's under sleep, disturbs the HP recovery of the target for 2 turns and puts the enemy under sleep for 1 turn. Increase the damage by 50% if the target is asleep. On her third skill, attacks without waking up the enemy that's under sleep. Attacks the target 4 times to recover 50% of the inflicted damage as HP and absorbs 25% of the enemy's attack bar. Puts the enemy to sleep for 2 turns when the enemy's attack bar is empty. Upon awakening her, she gains the name of Visaria and an additional leader skill, which is a 24% speed lead but only on arena. On the wind selection, we have the Wind Pierrot. Her first skill attacks by throwing 2 cards, each having 50% chance to remove a beneficial effect. The second skill inflicts damage with a sharp attack and recovers your HP by 50% of the damage dealt. Increases your attack bar by 100% if your HP is full after the attack. Moving on to her third skill, attacks an enemy target 5 times, dealing massive damage. Each attack has a 50% chance to decrease the target's defense for 2 turns. This attack absorbs all of the enemy's attack bar when used with the full HP. And when you awaken her, she gains the name of Sophia, which also gets a leader skill that increases the resistance of ally monsters by 30%. Moving on to the next selection, we have the Light Gargoyle. On his first skill, attacks the enemy to inflict damage that increases according to your defense, and stuns the enemy for 1 turn with a 30% chance. In addition, increases your defense by 30%, accumulates up to 5 times. On his second skill, inflicts damage on all enemies in proportion to your defense, and provokes them for 1 turn with an 80% chance each. Afterwards, you will be turned into a statue until the next turn starts. While you are a statue, you won't be able to move, but you will gain immunity against inability effects, receive 30% less damage, and recover your HP by 15% when the statue state is removed. And we have his third skill, which is quite interesting. When you are turned into a statue, increase the skill cooldown time of the target that attacks you by 2 turns. The cooldown time can be increased over the max cooldown time of the monster, but it is excluding the bosses. And of course, after awakening him, he actually gains the name of Fanaka and a leader skill that increases the HP of light monsters by 40%. And lastly, we have the Dark Sylph. His first skill throws a small spirit at the enemy and increases your critical rate by 30% at the next turn if you got a critical hit. And his second skill compresses the air around the enemy, causing turbulence which sets their attack bar to 0. And his third skill surrounds all enemies with night and puts them to sleep for 2 turns and prevents them from receiving beneficial effects for 2 turns. He also has a leader skill which has increased the attack speed of ally monsters by 19%. Also, the awakened name for the Dark Sylph is Ashurpal. So which one are you going to choose? Most of the time, we would choose either light or dark monster as they are harder to obtain, being nat 4 at that. And if you already have the light and dark monsters, it's also not a bad choice to choose either the Pierrot or the Succubus for this rotation. The reason being, the Wood Pierrot as a skill up for Clara, the Fire Parrot, and she is a speed lead as well that you could use for Special League. And on the side of the Succubus, Isaria is a speed lead for Arena as well, and she is quite used on Special League as she can control enemies and put them to sleep. And that's it for this video. I hope I was able to help you guys make the selections easier for you for week 17's HoH. And if you like this kind of content, please don't forget to like and subscribe, as that could help the channel a lot. Till next time.